right, Brutal Planet listeners, this is Joey here again. I have the chance to talk to Hunter about Moodring's new album, Stargazer, which is going to be released on June 10th. And I've been jamming this thing the last few days. It's awesome. I can't wait for everyone to hear it. So, Hunter, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. I'm probably going to start out here with some cliche questions for you, just because a lot of our listeners and stuff probably aren't familiar with you guys yet. But you guys started the band, like less than a year before COVID hit, didn't you?
Yeah, that's about right.
What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, we're still writing, and I guess like COVID just happened. So as COVID like really messed up a lot of bands, like, you know, who were already in like the full swing of their careers, kind of just gave us more time.
Sure.
I mean, it's still affecting us now. I mean, we've already had tours canceled and stuff like that.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of launching, it was probably helped us more than anything.
Well, that's great to hear. Yeah, I know a lot of bands suffered during COVID. That was really rough on a lot of people. But yeah, if you were in the beginning stages of writing and things like that, getting used to starting a new band, that's probably a good asset. And you guys are based in Florida, right?
We are, yeah.
All you guys live there, or are you doing things remotely?
All of us are in Florida.
Oh, that's great. So was the writing process, were you guys able to meet together and do that, or?
The first EP is mostly me by myself, like while I was kind of like making the project. And then like we added 2 songs that we ended up writing together. But yeah, Stargazer was done in my studio with another producer.
Okay.
All in person.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And the band name, I was kind of reading up a little bit on that. You want to explain that for our listeners? I think it's pretty interesting how you guys came up with that.
I mean, essentially, like I came up with the name Moodring because it's, I don't know, like a disclaimer in a sense, because we kind of want to do our own thing, you know, whenever we want to. Like we don't ever want to be pigeonholed or put a ceiling on the band. So it's kind of a disclaimer, you know. If you listen to Stargazer, you might hit a pop song like Peel, and I think the song after it is Nike, which is like Sade meets like Nine Inch Nails. So it's like someone's like, man, what is this? Like, what the fuck just happened? It's like, well,
yeah,
it was in the name, bud. So
yeah. Well, I thought it was a brilliant name. Just I only got a chance to listen to the whole album one time through, and then a few songs several times. But it's just great. It's like what you said. You never know what's going to come next. But
right.
Yeah, I've been jamming those few songs nonstop the last couple of days here, and I love it.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah. The artwork and stuff. You seem like a pretty creative guy. I'm wondering if you had a hand in some of that as well.
It was shot 2 feet away from me in my living room. That's actually one of my snakes who passed away on the cover. But yeah, we used like those like whiteboards you would use like at a science fair.
Sure. And
put it down on the ground and covered it in roses and let him go free. We got a bunch of really cool shots of him.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, so that was right there in your living room.
Yeah, like 2 feet away from me.
Yeah, it blows my mind nowadays, like how many bands can do a lot of that stuff, you know, just in their own homes, you know, with home studios and everything. It's not big production stuff as much anymore. And
yeah, you can learn. I think that's just part of the age that we live in, you know.
Yeah.
I produce for a living, and it's just, oh man, how did you know, CLA make something sound like that? Oh, good thing I have YouTube. Like, yeah. So yeah.
That's so true.
So I didn't have to spend $100,000 in school to find out, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. So do you have a lot of reptiles and stuff, or was that your only snake? Or
I had 3 snakes. I currently have 2. Okay. But yeah, that's all my
pythons
thing. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Currently, I was about to get a red-tailed boa who was giant, but my girlfriend has told me I should not.
Oh.
So
I'd be fine starting out with a little ball python, but my wife says absolutely not. So
my ball pythons are pretty big, honestly. They live long enough and they're healthy, they will get big.
Yeah.
Not like massive, but I mean, I have one that's about 4 feet.
Okay.
So he's, you know,
that's decent size.
Yeah, like he's probably as thick as my phone. So
yeah,
he's pretty big.
Yeah, I love animals, but I don't like taking care of animals. You know, I got to take the dog for a
It's
walk
rough.
every day and clean the cat's litter box and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? A snake would be fairly low maintenance, I think. But
They they can be. The only problem with pythons is they can be really picky about when they eat,
oh,
and then that stresses you out. And you're like, well, is he being picky or is he sick? Like, let's take him to the vet. You know what I mean? So
wow.
it's very back and forth. We have a cat too. I have a Sphinx.
Okay.
So she's around here. I'm sure she'll be on top of me shortly. She's
Yeah.
tearing shit up about 3 feet away from me. So
Does she like watching the snake?
I don't think she has any idea they exist. Fortunately,
Oh, really? Okay.
they know she exists though. So
Yeah. So the snake that died, you said that's the one that was on the album cover?
yeah,
Well, that's kind of cool that it's memorialized there on the album and stuff.
the album is actually named after him. He had a condition like where essentially like if you know like overbreeding animals, like they get like genetic defects,
Mm-hmm.
and we bought him like previous to that knowledge. Like we didn't buy him from a breeder. Like I saw him at a store and I was like, oh, he's sick, you know. So I bought him, and then I realized he had this genetic defect where essentially he had like this gene that made him like wobble, like almost like he had Parkinson's disease,
Hmm.
and it was pretty shitty. And he would effectively like get stuck staring at the ceiling like straight up, like his head like that.
Oh, really?
And they called it stargazing, and essentially it meant the snake had 2 to 3 weeks to live. And upon doing a lot of research out of it and like finding kind of like mutual like empathy with this animal who's like going through something like around the same time I was, it kind of came like the loose concept of like the song, the title of the album, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the album title and the song, just where that came from. So
That is about that snake.
that's pretty cool.
So yeah.
Well, all right. What I normally like to do, Hunter, I'll ask, about one single that you have released, and then I like to go into the deep tracks. I like to hear, how the songs were written or the meaning behind the lyrics or anything like that. So we'll just start out with SYNC.wav. Is that the official name for the song? Because I've seen it both sync and sync.wav. So
it's SYNC.wav is how it's
SYNC.wav.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting butchered online, and the copy that got sent to me, it's just sync, so I didn't know what it was. But so that was released at the end of April. What can you tell us about that song?
It's just a heavy, sexy song.
Yeah.
It's just without being too taboo. I wanted to have a heavier, like ethereal track on the record, but still like wanted to have like the juxtaposition of like the section that's behind it. And I think it worked pretty well. We've been playing it. We've been playing it live since like December.
Okay.
It's been going well. It definitely like feels different live too, and I think the track did like fairly well. Like out of the singles, I think it performed the best, and I think it did the most for us like as a band too. So
yeah, I love that deep bass tone on the verses and stuff. That just
it's sick.
Sweet.
Yeah, the tones on the record are so fucking cool, man. That's like my favorite part. I'm just like, this thing sounds dope. So
yeah, and what's funny, when I first heard it, I'm like, holy cow! I'm just brought back to like high school in the late '90s. It's like that earlier Deftones sound and stuff. And I'm sure you get that a lot. And I think that you're a Deftones fan, so
yeah,
probably doesn't bother you too bad. But
I am, but like it only gets bad when people like constantly compare us to them. When it's like, well, damn, like I know you only listen to like a song or two because there's so much of our catalog sounds nothing like them that it's like, damn.
Right. Yeah, but that song, it was just like, right back to high school, and it was amazing.
Well, the intention of that song was because I have the white pony tattooed on my face.
Yeah.
So I got so sick of hearing people say that we sounded like Deftones and Glassjaw because of the tattoos on my face that I said, all right, well, let's just write a song that sounds like Deftones and Glassjaw. And so that is literally what SYNC.wav is. So
yeah, hearing
it with that song, like that was the intention.
Well, that was the first one I heard, so that was like, holy cow, these guys sound like the Deftones. But I mean that in as much compliment as I can give you. It was amazing. I love that song.
No, of course, I appreciate it. I mean, that was the intention. So
yeah, that's awesome. All right, Red Light Gossip. I've been digging that one.
Yeah, I like that song a lot too.
So it's hard to hear all the lyrics. Only listening to it a few times and stuff. But
I'm terrible at enunciating too, so that won't help much.
Well, I can pick out some, but I'm always curious to hear like what inspired you to write what you did, and what's the song about and things like that. So if you don't mind sharing, I'd love to hear about it.
That song in particular, I was comparing like the antagonist, I guess you will, like that I'm talking about, to an actor. It's very like a lot of wordplay, talking about like plays and break a leg, the curtain is closed. Lots of comparing to someone like essentially like being fake, like their life is performative. And that their actions like are essentially just all for show. Is like really what that one's about.
Okay.
So
well, you
the title
that's almost like the world we live in now with social media and stuff. You get everyone giving you their highlight reel, and none of it's real life.
Yeah, you get none of the bloopers. The title actually came from our drummer because I was having an issue with some members of the band talking shit while I was recording, and essentially he was I kept popping out of the booth and being like, "Yo, shut up," and I was getting mad. And so essentially he came up with the title Red Light Gossip, because like back in the day when he'd record in the studio, the red light would go on. So yeah, it's a little clever thing by him for that song.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. I dig that song a lot. Is that one going to be released as a single?
It's not. Next one is Nike.
Oh, okay. So that was the next one I was going to ask you about. I think just because it's so different, it's probably my favorite track on the album.
I think so too. I think I agree with you on that.
Yeah, you got that groovy beat in the verses, and then that really heavy chorus, and
essentially just like,
what's that one about?
Yeah, can't answer this question without people getting mad. It's basically about like the taboos of like sex and religion. So essentially like having to like hide this like fucking like hide this like sexual relationship like under like the guise of like really like strict like Christianity essentially. Or like especially like from like two like members of a church. So it's essentially on that, and like it's them just pretty much shedding like the dogma of the religion and like coming together. So yeah, so lightly put it.
It seems like there's a story behind this, but I don't know if
it was made up. Oh no, it was like made up. Like it's fictional.
So it's not like something that happened with friends or nothing.
Nah. No, it's actually I was writing it about two preachers who actually fall in love. Yeah, so it's completely like fictional, lots of like religious imagery in that song, like with like the juxtaposition of it still being sexual, which is like super taboo in that world, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole point.
So how do you get the title? Does it stand for something, or?
Yeah, it stands for the chorus. Now I kill everything.
Oh, okay.
And also it's a play on Korn, Adidas. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it was like a callback to that.
Sure.
They sound nothing alike, but
Right. No, I like that song a lot though. It's probably my favorite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Really wanted to do like essentially like Sade like in the verses, and then like really, really heavy Nine Inch Nails sounding stuff on the chorus. Our bassist wrote a lot of that song musically, had like early demo versions of it, and then we collabed with a man named Kel from the band Modern Error. Sorry, I'm bad at talking. He's really good with like industrial synths and stuff, so we essentially sent over everything and he just made it better. And it was awesome.
So are you primarily the primary songwriter, and then the other guys come in and add stuff, or you play guitar too, don't you?
Not all. I play guitar like a lot, like on record, but I generally don't live anymore.
Oh,
I
okay.
planned on playing guitar live, but I went, damn, I'm not very good at singing when I play guitar, and I'm not very good at playing guitar when I'm singing, so I should just do one. So
Yeah, it blows my mind the guys that can do that. I mean, like, it's one thing
me
to be
too.
playing a just a simple melody or something and sing, but like, like Cody from Wage War and stuff. I just saw them a couple weeks ago, and it blows my mind.
I know Cody personally, so yeah, it's definitely pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida boys. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm a primary songwriter in the sense that like I do everything or anything like that. I just think I'm around. Like I'm on the subject more than most. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like the others have more of outside lives, than I do, I guess. And I do this for a living too, like I write music and produce music. So I have a lot more time to go at it than the others do, Yeah. But everyone writes, everyone contributes.
Well, have you guys been writing and collaborating for many years? Because it seems like you guys really just found your rhythm together and it doesn't sound like a debut, first or full length album or whatever. It just sounds like you guys have been doing this a long time.
I've known Sean for a really long time, our guitarist. We've been friends since I was like 12. He was 13 or something like that. We played music together for a super long time. And he was in bands with our drummer, Lindy, forever. I've wrote with Lindy many, many times as well.
Okay.
And then Kaylin, our bassist, just kind of fell into the mix really easily and well. So, yeah. So, yeah, we have like 15 years of experience with most of us do with each other already. Okay. So,
well, and you guys, it's not like you're in your early 20s figuring life out either, right? Like a lot of bands, when they start out so young, they're trying to figure everything out, and it just doesn't work out, and you guys just sound so tight.
Definitely, I'm the youngest member and I'm 28. So put it that way. You know what I mean? Like we all have house, we are
right.
We are members of society, unfortunately.
Right.
So
unfortunately, you're paying taxes.
Yeah, the band pays taxes. It's the worst.
Yeah.
So, God.
Yeah, it's got to be so hard starting out too when you're just trying to get your name out there and you're not really making money. So.
And then you're paying. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Well, the last song I wanted to ask you about was I believe it's the last one on the album, Xeno. In Love, and I was hoping there was a good personal story behind this one too.
It's definitely like being in the confines of a toxic relationship, and like essentially, it's like the climax of the record. Like at the end, the how to leave painlessly line, and then it like explodes essentially. So essentially, like you just finally like give up, like you finally let go after like all this like push and pull, like back and forth, and you finally like have just like you're just like fuck it, like I'm done, or you give up, or it's definitely up for like metaphorical, interpretation, like whether it's like you give up on life entirely, or like you actually just give up on the like relationship. So yeah, that one's definitely just about like the push and pull of like and like the dynamics of just a super shitty toxic relationship. So yeah, and Zeno, again, Zeno is the name of one of my snakes, a different snake. But Zeno essentially means like foreigner. So, like the xenomorph from Alien, which is where that name came from. And, so it's just like an alien love, it's not right. And again, our drummer came up with that name too.
Okay.
So yeah, and that course.
All right, so I found out the names of 2 out of 3 of your snakes. I got to ask you what the third one is.
Pepper, but I didn't name him.
Okay.
Yeah. The snake actually that is on the cover is not named Stargazer. His name is David.
Oh, so that wasn't the name. That was just his.
Yeah, no, it's just.
Oh, I got you.
His name is David, and his full name was David Michael Fassbender, named after David the android from the Alien movies.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting to talk so much about snakes. That's kind of fun.
I think every single, like all the press I've done around this record everyone has felt the same way. They're like,
Really?
they're like Snake.
Oh, I
What
love
do you
snakes.
mean?
I think it's great. I've never
Yeah.
owned one. I've always wanted to, but
They're awesome. They're chill.
yeah,
So
that's
I just
cool.
shot a music video for Nike the other day, actually, with we shot it with like a macro lens, so it's like super up close to my face, and my girlfriend stood behind me, and we just draped my snake like over my face the entire time. It's crazy.
Cool. Which one's
Yeah,
that?
Zeno.
Zeno made it.
Yeah, he's cool.
It's gonna be a star.
Hey, he's gonna be a star.
Oh, that's great. I hope the next album too, you sprinkle in snake stuff in there too. So
hopefully I'll have some more by then. So we'll see how it goes. I'm getting a look like right now, like please don't.
Come on, let him have one.
Yeah, that's fun.
What do you say you wanted, that red-tailed boa?
Yeah, there's a friend of mine in town has a really big one. He wants to give me for free with a free enclosure, and I really want it.
Just
he's big, but I've heard he's like a rat garbage disposal. Like he's pretty much always hungry. So
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Is it?
So yeah.
Well, how much are rats?
I mean like $3 to $5, but you do it once a week. It adds up. So
still cheaper than my dog, and you don't have to clean up crap with a little bag.
Yeah, our cat is very expensive to take care of. So, and you have to give her a bath once a week, otherwise she'll leave grease spots all over the house. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, sphinxes. Yeah, you have to take care of them.
About that.
Yeah, they get greasy like humans do. So, yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, you don't have any kids, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they get gross too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I knew that I wanted to tour and like do this full time, so it's just not in the picture for me, unfortunately.
Yeah. So speaking of tour, what do you guys got? A couple festivals here in a few days starting out, and then you're going on tour.
Yeah, we got a full US with Cane Hill. After we play Rockville next week in Daytona.
Okay.
And then we play SYNC.wav Festival, and then we're doing a full US with Cane Hill, Afterlife, and Victims. Okay. So it'll be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're all.
Have you guys done festivals yet or not?
We have not.
Okay.
So starting off with Rockville is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a gigantic festival, and just so happens that the majority of our band was born on the same road.
Sure.
So
sure.
Yeah.
So how much time are they giving you?
I think we have a 30-minute set, but I think we'll probably only play like 20 minutes of it. We'll probably just get on, just not stop, just go.
Sure.
And get off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anyone sees us, it'll probably be like, the intention is that, they go, well, shit, I want more of that.
Right.
So we don't do a whole lot of talking on stage or anything. I'm not pushing like any type of agenda. One song stops, the next one starts. We just go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you guys are covering a lot of ground on this tour. It looked like you're going all the way out west and then back, ending in Nashville or something.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah. I think there might be Florida dates on that tour. I can't remember, but they're probably not allowed to announce them because of Rockville or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be cool. Cane Hill's been supportive of us since we started, essentially.
Yeah.
And they just it didn't even come from like an agent or anything. They just texted me and were like, "Hey, do you want to go on this tour?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys are gonna be here. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I think you're going to be here first week in June or something. So I'll try to.
Yeah, I actually
get to that show.
You should. I spent some time up there during the pandemic. Actually, our merch guy is from around where you are.
Okay.
And his whole family is up there, and I needed to get out of Florida. Like during the pandemic, I was just kind of losing my mind. We went up to Duluth and like hung out up there, and
that's pretty up there.
Yeah, the black beach and everything. It was so sick, and I stayed at his house for weeks. It was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
So I had a good time.
Yeah, COVID was a little rough here in the Twin Cities. There was a lot more stuff going on, but then I'm from Wisconsin, so a lot of times I'd take the kids up north in Wisconsin stuff. We'd run around in the woods and stuff, get out of here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to get out and up north and see the lake and stuff.
That's all you could really do. It was so different there compared to Florida, because Florida, just pretended like it didn't exist at all.
Yeah.
So when I got up there, we went into the city one day. It was a ghost town. There was no one out at all.
Yeah.
So very, very, very different from Florida.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've noticed just even 2 hours into Wisconsin where we used to live too, it was like night and day difference how they dealt with COVID. But
yeah, I mean, who am I to judge?
well, yeah, to each their own. But I hated wearing a mask, so I told the kids, I'm like, we're going to the woods today, and it's like, yay. Yeah.
I wear a mask in the van, like it's not like a COVID mask, but it's just like for humidity, so I'm just used to it. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Not at all. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. Well, any last comments for our Brutal Planet listeners?
Stargazer is out June 10th, and I'd really appreciate it if you checked it out and shared it around, showed your friends, family, your mom, your dog. We're out here trying to do the damn thing. We could use all the love we can get.
I'm not going to share it with my mom. I don't think she's going to like this kind of music, but
yeah, I don't think mine is either. But I invited her to Rockville, so we'll see how it goes.
That's funny. No, it's a great album. I can't wait to keep playing it. I haven't had much time since I first got it and was listening to it, but everything I've heard, I've loved it. It's great. I'm going to promote it, tell people. So, and then
awesome.
People can go
really
to moodringrock.com. You got some t-shirts up there.
Yeah, we do have that store. Mostly social media is just at Moodring Rock on everything. You can go check out what we're doing. We update pretty much like bi-daily. So that's probably the easiest place to keep up with anything Moodring right now.
Cool.
Until we get more creative.
Yeah, and the tour hasn't started yet, so people can check out the tour dates and hopefully hit a show.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome. Would love to play for new people and meet as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if I can work it out to get to a show here in St. Paul, I'd love to meet you in person. So
yeah, let me know if you're gonna come out. I'll put you on the list. So
all right, sounds good, man.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.